What's up, guys? PowerManiac720 here, and I have you round 8 from Athens Regionals. I'm currently 6-1, and I get paired up with my friend Edward Glover, also known as MinVGC. Edward is also 6-1, so winner was on the top cut, and loser has to rely on their resistance, which I'm not too confident in because my resistance was kind of shaky, and I definitely need some things to break my way in the last round to move on to top cut. So let's see the match. So Edward's team was Aegis/, Excadrill, Tyranitar, Rotom Wash, Mungus, and Salamence. So I saw this team and I immediately was pumped because I played this team so many times on Battle Spot, and I was just like, I know how to play this team, and I play it really well, I thought. So let's check out the match. And so Shiftry Sableye is kind of my lead because it pretty much does a pretty good job shutting down the Sand lead, and he leads Tyranitar Excadrill, so it works out really nicely for me. I anticipated Protect from Excadrill and like a Rock Slide or a Crunch from Tyranitar, but I do still fake out Excadrill just to play it safe because Min's a good player and he might think that that move's obvious. So I do go for the fake out, and I just Will-O-Wisp the Tyranitar, and I think that at this point, like, I'm in really good shape. But then it turns out that Tyranitar has a Lumberry, not a Choice Scarf, which definitely put the damper on my day because I pretty much played this lead expecting a Choice Scarf, and I should have known. Like, I think I was too... Choice Scarf is obviously the popular item on this team, but it's definitely not the item on this team, and I think I should have realized that and maybe played a little more accordingly. So here I just Will-O-Wisp into the Salamence slot because I'm hoping he's physical, so I figured either I burn Excadrill or I burn Salamence. I definitely thought the Excadrill switch would come, but I wasn't positive. I figured worst comes to worst, I get chip damage off. So I do Leaf Blade the Tyranitar, and I do just over 50% to it, so pretty good damage as Rock Slide comes out onto both my Pokemon, and actually KOs my Sableye, and does a really good chunk to my Shiftry. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty bad about this match because I'm kind of in trouble. I think my biggest regret from this match would be this turn because in hindsight, I should have switched out Shiftry to preserve it, considering that he could have Rotom Wash in the back. But he does keep in both his Pokemon, I keep in both of mine. And of course, the timer's ticking away on his Salamence because of the burn. We both Mega Evolve, and my Mega Evolve's first, so I could be faster, or I could have won a speed tie. Tyranitar actually protects, which ends up kind of sucking for me. I go for the Rock Slide with my Salamence. You know, I do a pretty good chunk to his Salamence, and I actually end up flinching it, which works out nicely because I'm able to set up this nice Tailwind. I think preserving Shiftry was more important than the Tailwind, especially because I could have got rid of the Sand with Ninetales in the back. But I'm still feeling pretty good about the match. You know, I'm certainly not in the worst shape ever. So Salamence ends up protecting, which is fine with me. I go for the Rock Slide, trying to knock it out. And also, I want to do a little bit of chip damage to Tyranitar because Leaf Blade was probably damage roll from where it was. And it does knock it out, so I'm getting closer to winning the match, but not quite there yet. So Salamance's taken a whole bunch of damage from Sandstorm and the burn, and Excadrill gets sent out, which is fine with me. I go for the Rock Slide, and Excadrill avoids it, which kind of sucks because I assumed it was Sash. And of course I missed out on breaking the Sash. Also, I could have flinched it, which would have been very huge to the match. And once again, I probably should have switched out Shiftry for Ninetales at that point, because I think Shiftry was just important to the end game, and I messed it up. Sandstorm runs out though, which is really nice, so I get Ninetales in for free. Well, not for free, but I get Ninetales in, I should say. So at this point in the match, I'm just gonna explain to you my thought process. I have to lock myself, because my Ninetales is Choice Scarf, I have to lock myself into one move, and that's either going to be Solar Beam or heat wave. I'm not going to overheat, and I'm not going to use HV ground. And I opt to lock myself into Solar Beam because I kind of expect to protect from Excadrill. So I figure if I can knock out Rotom here, then I can knock out Excadrill next turn with a combination of Solar Beam and Earthquake. So I go right for the double target onto the Rotom. And he doesn't protect the Excadrill, which was really annoying. So if I just Heat Waved and Rock Slid, I probably would have won, assuming both of them hit, which is, kind of big. But it does about a little over 50% of Rotom, activates the Citrus Berry, which definitely sucked. In hindsight, I also probably should have Rock Slid here and gone for flinches, because I think flinches were kind of key to me winning at this point. As you see, Double Edge does a pretty good chunk of damage. If it didn't have Citrus Berry, it might have been a damage roll. And Ed goes for a really good play here and just Earthquakes to get rid of the Ninetales, because of course the Ninetales is his biggest threat right now, and Salmus isn't really doing much. And we do see the Rotom go for the Hydro Pump, which was a good move. Just in case somehow Ninetales survived with like a Sash or a Shucca Berry. So I Rock Slide again. I basically need to flinch. I need to KO the Rotom here and flinch the Excadrill. But I don't even KO Rotom, so Excadrill can just get Iron Head off and win me the match. But if I had flinched there, I don't know how much Earthquake does to Excadrill, but anyway, that was round 8, and I ended up going 6-2 and coming in 17th place. I end up losing on opponent's win percentage, which is the second tiebreaker, since my opponent's win percentage was tied with the person in 16th place. So kind of a sucky way to lose or miss out on cut, but at the same time, if I just won that match, then I would have been in. So great job to all my opponents. I had my round 1 opponent made top cut. One of my other opponents was 6-2. 2 of them were 5-3, and Edward was 7-1. So I had some really solid opponents. So definitely enjoyed the experience. Enjoyed my best finish of the year, and hopefully I will do better at nationals. So thanks for watching, guys.